Hi everybody, so today I'm going to do a review of the KJV Cross-Reference Study Bible. So we'll get a little bit closer look of it here, but we'll look at the features that are on the back side because they're a little bit larger print. So it comes in this nice sleeve. You just slide the Bible right in there. You could pause that right there if you'd like to read that section there, and then we're going to pan down and go over the study features. So we're going to have 25,000 plus center column references, 6,500 study notes. We've got book introductions. This is a red letter edition. We're going to have character profiles, which illuminate 30 of the most important people in the Bible. We've got Bible background articles. We've got questions and answers. So these are scattered throughout the Bible in these little Q&As. So those are really neat. We've got the charts and lists, messianic prophecies, parallel passages, dictionary concordance, and full color maps. Then we can see an example of our font. Here's our ISBN number. This one retails for $29.99, and you can definitely find this for less on both christianbook.com as well as Amazon. And Amazon right now has an amazing price on this. I was actually shocked. So definitely check out the link in the description box for Amazon, because I'm going to probably order a handful of these for Christmas. So get on there and get some before I buy them all. Alright, so if you're looking at this one here and you think, okay, well I kind of want something more feminine, they do have a women's edition. So one thing that's pretty neat on this, and I'll show it here in just a moment, is that they both have the same information, except for the women's has some devotional stuff in it. So they're going to have the same page numbers and everything, so it's actually really neat. So if you wanted to get kind of his and hers, that would be a great way to do it. So this one's going to measure out at 8 5/8 inches tall by 6 1/4 inches wide, and it is 1 1/8 inch thick. So we've got nice head and tail bands. You can see there on the gilding on this, the gilding is really nicely done. I was impressed with the gilding. So this one, we can see that it's not curved like the women's one, but the gilding is absolutely beautiful. So this one, they call this one stone. And so it's kind of like a tannish color. We've got this nice pattern in that center section there. A little bit darker, but we can see the stitching all the way around the perimeter. And so the way that they've done this is it kind of has a leather look to it. So, but nice imitation style leather. And the way that this is right through there, it kind of gives you a spot to grip it so you don't feel like you're going to drop it. On our spine, we have the KJV Cross-Reference Study Bible. Little logo there, and Barbour. And in some lights it kind of looks gray, but if you take this and you set it next to something that has highs and lows of gray, it's definitely more in the brown family. So we're going to have a typical paper paste down liner, and we're going to get into our title page. There is some of the publisher's information, and we're going to get right into the content. So we have the list of the books in both the Old and New Testament. Then we're going to have the KJV Cross-Reference Study Bible, and it's going to have the introduction to it. So as we get down here, so you could pause and read that section there if you would like to, and then we'll drop down. And we've seen all these features in the back, but I do want to point out the little symbol that they use for the messianic prophecy icons. Those are found in the center column right next to the references. And then we've also got this little symbol here for the parallel passages. This one does have the epistle dedicatory. And then we've got the types of the books in the Bible. So if I can hold that open with one hand. So in our Old Testament, it's going to tell us that there are 5 law books. We've got 12 history books, 5 wisdom and poetic books, and then we've also got the major and minor prophets. And then when we get to our New Testament, we've got our 4 Gospels, the history of the early church, which would be the Acts, and then we've got our Pauline epistles, the general epistles, and the apocalyptic writing. Then we're going to get right into our Old Testament. And we're going to have our book introduction up at the top there, and then we're going to have our double column format, and as you can see right here on the left hand side, it is verse by verse, and we've got all of our cross references right in the center. So the way that those are numbered, it makes it really easy to be able to go and find those. So if we were to see 11 and 12, we can find that down here at the bottom. We've got 21, so that's going to be right over here. So it does make it easy to find them. So that is one thing, that the way that they've got the layout on here. And you will see quite a bit of ghosting on here. On our font on this one, it's a 8-point font. And then the notes, they say that they're a 6, but they look a little closer to a 7 when I hold it up to my font chart. But one thing that I'm going to show you that I also showed in the women's edition is when you get a nice Bible and if there's too much ghosting and it's distracting to you, I'm going to just show you a little bit of a trick here, if I can do this single-handedly. So I'm just going to stick a piece of black paper down there and put that page on it. Then we can see right there, if we look, that cuts down on a lot of our ghosting. So if you get a Bible, or if you have one that's the ghosting's a little bit distracting, try out that trick. It does make it kind of nice. We're going to get in, and right off the bat we're going to see a lot of these different features in here. And this just does not want to stay open because it is pretty much still brand new. So we've got our Q&As. So why did God need to rest on the seventh day of creation? We've got one of our articles. So this is the fall of humankind. And then we're going to get into one of our character profiles. So I'm going to kind of flip through to a little bit more of the middle, so this will lay down. So here is another one of the Q&As. How do the concepts of first fruits and tithes relate to us today? So it's kind of nice that you have all of these different things kind of scattered throughout this. So it's actually pretty neat. And then you will have to unstick the pages because some of these are still stuck. I've only went through parts of it. And then it does have one ribbon marker. It is just a single satin. So that side is just flat. But it is nice to have one, and it could have been about an inch or so longer, but it still does the trick. But if you prefer slightly longer ribbon, these aren't hard to do on the ribbons. So one thing I did want to point out, and I'm going to open this one up, and then I'm going to grab this women's edition here and show you that they have the same pagination. So even though this one's thicker and it has all those additional pages for devotions and everything for women, which just happened to open right up to one, and another one, and those are kind of on a card stock. But if we open both of these up, and we can see that we are on page 640, and we've got Psalm 21:3, and we can see it starts with "hast not withholden." And if we come down to our women's edition, also page 640, and we can see that it has that same exact verse. So like if you were wanting to do kind of like a husband and wife type Bible and you wanted to both be able to read out of your own, then this is kind of nice because you're going to have the same pagination. Everything that you find on one page, you're going to find it on the same on this one. So that is pretty nice. So if you aren't into this cover option, then you can also, and plus if you're female, you may want to go with this one because it does have all those nice devotional features. So that is really nice. So I did want to point that out. But really nicely done the way that the Bible is. The paper, it is a pretty thin paper, and that's why we're seeing a little bit more ghosting. So if you pull it away from there, that does get rid of quite a bit of it. And then also if we put that black paper behind that, that's going to get rid of a lot of it. We can also see our red letter. So there is our red letter. So it's not super bright, so that's nice. So it's a decent shade of red. It could probably be a little bit darker, but it's really hard to get the right shade of red. So there's one little section which is the 30 parables of Jesus. But a really nice little hand size, because really it's not very big, as you can see there, but a great study Bible that is small. So to have a lot of cross references, a lot of additional features in such a small compact Bible is really nice to have. So this is going to have the concordance and dictionary, so it'll have all of our words in bold, so still nice and readable. But definitely you may want to maybe just cut out a piece of black paper, stick it within this Bible, so when you are reading it you can help kind of cut down on your ghosting. Then this is going to have the same maps that the women's edition has, and they are going to be on a glossy paper, as you can see the way that the light's hitting that. So it's not It's quite a cardstock. It is a thicker paper, but it's not super thick. Here we can see some stitching, so evidence of a nice sewn binding. So I'm sure that if I was to break this in, that it would probably lay flat. But I usually don't break in the publisher's copies because I like to keep them new, because these end up usually 90% of the time they end up being gifted to somebody who doesn't have one. So this one will probably go to somebody, and more than likely they will go to a couple, because I like the idea of, you know, the his and hers. So we've got the women's edition here, and then this one would be just the regular edition. So you can definitely check both of these out. And this one right now is just an absolutely phenomenal price right now on Amazon. So definitely check to see if they still have any left, and I will have the link in the description box. So this one retails for $29.99. This other one retails for $39.99. But it also has a lot more features and devotions in it. But it also is thumb indexed as well. So definitely check out both of these. And I'll put links in the description boxes for each of these videos to refer to the other one, so if you wanted to check out the other one as well. And I would also like to thank the publisher for sending these copies out for review. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day.